Good afternoon, welcome to the channel. I am Corey here, Driveway Demons, and today I'm reviewing the 2018 Nissan Sentra. Many kids today may look at the Nissan Sentra as being grandma's car or a grocery getter, but back in 2002, Nissan released the Sentra in a sport trim that everyone desired to rival the Acura RSX Type S. In 2002, they dropped the Nissan SER Spec V, which had 175 horsepower, did 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds, and a quarter-mile time of 14.7, which was slightly faster than the RSX Type S due to the weight difference, the Type S being 200 plus pounds heavier, although it did have 25 more horsepower. The Acura RSX was slightly slower with a 0 to 60 of 6.7 and a quarter-mile of 14.9. A lot of kids back then, including me, were very hyped about the SER Spec V. Now, there are two sport trims of the Nissan Sentra today, which is 188 horsepower and it weighs 2,880 pounds, which is about 180 pounds heavier than the SER Spec V was back in the day. However, it does have 13 more horsepower. If you get the Nismo edition, however, it's still slower than the original SER Spec V as it's rated at 7.10 to 60 and a quarter-mile time of 15.5. So it's about a half a second slower 0 to 60 in quarter-mile times, which is due to the weight and gearing. It's not quite the same car it used to be. However, today I'm looking at the Nissan Sentra SV. Now, I did get a lot of hate on my review of the Nissan Versa SV as I was kind of making it into a joke review, but I did honestly say that it was great for the price and great gas mileage. However, looking at the two side by side, the Nissan Sentra is a much better vehicle. As tested here, the Nissan Sentra is $18,000 or $18,250, whereas the Nissan Versa that I reviewed was $16,500. Now, there's only a $1,500 difference between the Nissan Versa SV that I tested and this Nissan Sentra SV. And it's definitely worth the extra $1,500, and I'm going to show you guys why. The interior of the Nissan Sentra is imperious to the Nissan Versa. Now, granted, it is a more expensive vehicle, but $1,500 to $2,000 really gets you a much better interior. In my opinion, the Nissan Versa's interior was lackluster at best. The Nissan Sentra has a considerably nicer interior. In fact, not even comparing it to the Nissan Versa, the Sentra's got a better interior than a lot of the average cars I've driven. I would definitely rather front the money to get the Nissan Sentra. It's just overall a much better vehicle, and the gas mileage is very close. The Nissan Versa gets 29 in the city, 39 on the highway. Some are getting more, 40, 41. I'm getting about 38 to 40 on the highway in the Sentra, and in the city, I'm getting 29. So they're very close in gas mileage. It's just the Nissan Sentra is slightly heavier, a couple hundred pounds. You get a little more horsepower, 124 versus 109. So it's a little more peppy, and you feel that in the Nissan Sentra. The interior is more comfortable, and it rides and drives a lot better, in my opinion. The Eco, Sport, and Traction Control are right here on the bottom. The Eco will guide you and coach you to get better gas mileage. The Sport button is when you want to bypass your overdrive and have a little bit more sensitive throttle, and it drives a little more sporty, hence the Sport button. The Traction Control you can take off, which will allow you to get full power to the wheels so that it doesn't stop you from spinning. So if you're not driving in inclement weather, such as rain and snow, you can take the Traction Control off. This way it won't stop the power from going to the tires and hence to prevent you from crashing. The interior is much more refined on the Nissan Sentra. I love the way everything is laid out. It feels more similar to a Toyota Corolla, which it's in the same class as a Corolla. Now, while the Nissan Sentra is better than the Versa, it's in the same class as the Toyota Corolla, which in my opinion is a better car in some ways. And the Sentra by no means is a bad car. In fact, it's one of the best cars in its class. The Nissan Sentra's interior, while somewhat basic, is very refined and clean and of higher quality than the Nissan Versa. In fact, the dashboard isn't cheap plastic like in the Nissan Versa. It's much more organized of a layout. The shifter is in a much better position. The stereo and entertainment system in the Nissan Sentra is light years beyond the Nissan Versa. In fact, I find the Nissan Sentra's stereo system to be quite good, astonishingly good for the price. Now, there's nothing too spectacular about the entertainment system other than the fact that it has Bluetooth, radio, iPod, and your basic controls. But like I said, from the price of the car, you cannot go wrong. It's a very well organized vehicle, and the entertainment system is quite powerful. Now, the seats overall on the Nissan Sentra are quite good. They're very comfortable. The bolsters are in the right position. I fit fairly snug in these seats, and I'm actually quite happy with them. For the price of the car, you really can't go wrong. Overall, there's really nothing I can complain about in the Nissan Sentra except maybe a little more horsepower. Instead of 124, if they had given this 145 or 160, it would be the ultimate economical / sport compact car. But other than that, there's really nothing to complain about. I'm quite surprised and quite pleased overall with the Nissan Sentra. Overall, the interior is roomy on the Nissan Sentra, and the quality is quite high for a vehicle of this price, and the back seat is no exception. There is considerable amount of room. There is even storage spaces right here in the center console. You could fit 3 people in the back seat. For a guy my size, I can fit perfectly in the center seat right here. And like I've said many times, I just can't believe how much room is in the Nissan Sentra. There's considerable amount of room for the size of this vehicle. Overall, the back seat is very comfortable. Now the question is, how much room is there in the trunk, considering this vehicle is somewhat small and there's so much interior room? Now looking at the trunk, the interior room of the car is great, and the trunk is no exception yet again. There is a lot of room in this trunk, and I could fit all of the equipment that I need to film YouTube videos or to go on vacations. You could fit 5 or 6 different suitcases back here. In fact, it's not much smaller than the trunk on my Dodge Charger, which is saying a lot. So here is the 1.8 liter from Nissan producing 124 horsepower with the CVT automatic transmission. And there's quite a bit of room around the engine. If you ever had to work on it or get anything done, I would say it's very organized under here, but you're not going to have to worry about that as it's going to be under warranty. So here is your Eco, Sport, and Traction Control buttons, as well as your dimmer for the interior dashboard cluster, as well as the mirrors. And the trunk button is right over here, which I didn't find until several hours after driving the car. It's kind of hidden way over here. So in order to release the hood or the gas cap, the levers to do that have been stowed away under the dashboard, which I absolutely love. It keeps things organized, and they didn't stick it in the door. Overall, the steering wheel has a great feel to it, much better than the Nissan Versa. For a vehicle of this price, the gauge cluster is quite good and organized. And when everything lights up, the LEDs are quite nice. You can go through your maintenance control right here, which will allow you to go through all your warnings and your fuel economy and average speed and stuff like that. There's nothing super fancy about it, but there is quite a bit of features for a car like this. So over here is your cruise control. And then below that you have voice commands, volume is over here, dash controls, and up and down will switch through the different settings. Overall, very good layout on the Nissan Sentra. As soon as you start the vehicle up, it says Nissan right on the screen. A very important subject I haven't touched base on yet with the Nissan Sentra is the suspension system. This vehicle rides considerably better than the Versa does. In fact, the Versa made my back hurt, my butt. It just wasn't comfortable. And that's just the honest truth. The Nissan Versa was not comfortable at all. Some people are going to say they love it, and others will not. But on the contrary, the Nissan Sentra drives very good. In fact, the Sentra is more comfortable than a lot of the vehicles in its class or in the class above it. It handles very well. The steering is well controlled, as is the braking and the suspension. It's not too stiff, not too soft. It handles well. The brakes are very good in this car. They will stop quickly. In fact, I was quite surprised, even coming from an Integra Type R and a Charger Hellcat, which both have heavy-duty Brembos. And for its price, the Nissan Sentra comes to a stop considerably well. You can expect to get 27 to 29 miles per gallon in the city and 37 to 39 on the highway, which is astonishing considering everything else we've talked about in this vehicle. For a vehicle of this cost and size, I'm quite surprised. I'm turning a corner right here at 50 miles an hour and another corner here at 45. I'm slowing down. The brakes are good. The cornering is good. And even though this is not a performance vehicle, I'm going to step on it right now, and it doesn't have a whole lot of power that you'd want for passing or anything like that. It does have a little bit of pep to it. That's not bad. It jumps. We already hit 40, we hit 50, 60. The vehicle is definitely better in sport mode. There's more throttle response. The car handles good. I'm quite impressed overall. Well, that's going to do it for the review of the Nissan Sentra. If you're stopping in for the first time, go ahead and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and comment below what do you guys think of this review and the Nissan Sentra. Don't forget to share the channel and the videos with everyone if you're enjoying them. Don't forget to check out the store, drivewaydemons.com. Mopar No Car, flip it over. Driveway Demons key tags. I have Integra Type R and Duramax key tags coming as well. Hoodies, t-shirts, and other things available in the store. Support the channel, drivewaydemons.com. For all my returning subscribers, thanks so much for supporting the channel and all my videos and being a part of the Driveway Demons family. But until the next video, guys, take care and have a great night.